I ruined my golden child brother's life. Starting it out from the beginning, I'm the youngest of 5.1 brother and 3 sisters. Though my sisters don't play a role in this story that much, the eldest sibling by 9 years. My oldest sister is married and lives in Canada with her husband. The second child, older than me by 7 years, lives with her husband also in Canada. That's another story. Her husband was the groom's man for the other husband's and sister wedding. Then my brother, older than me by 5 years. Then finally my other sister, who is 2 years older than me, who works across town. I am 27-year-old man who lives in an apartment with 2 other guys. So my brother Tommy is the family favorite child. To this day I'm still not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because he's the firstborn son and more like my dad. You see, my dad always wanted a son and is kind of a sexist. My brother Tommy was also more of a bully to me than a brother. He would constantly undermine me every time he saw an opportunity, prank me, or just straight up abuse me. When I saw 15, he threw a bucket of water on my bed, took a picture, and sent it out on Facebook to all my friends and classmates saying I wet the bed. He pushed me down the stairs once, told me I can't go to his wedding unless I take the role as flower girl. And this wasn't a joke. He legit kept this up for months, even sending out wedding invites to everyone but me, until his fiancée at the time and faces on at the time found out, got mad, and made him invite me. I will circle back to her, but the thing he did most was steal everything I had. Well, the thing he did the most was steal from me. Everything I had, he would try to take from me, either for himself or just so I would not have it. He convinced my first girlfriend I was cheating on her by showing her a picture of me hugging another woman my age who was actually my cousin. He stole my PlayStation and my games, my bike, and so on. He's like this 'cause everyone just enables him except my sisters. My father is always saying how proud he is of him, about how athletic he was, top of his class, etc. Me, not so much. I was never that athletic in the sense of how my father sees it. I was good at tennis, but my father said that was a woman's sport. I was not that great at schools, getting mostly C or B on good days. I don't share political views with my father or his religious views. For all this, he waves me off a lot of the time. My mother left when I was 3 with some other guy. I have no memories of her. I should mention I'm only a half-sibling to my brother and older sisters, as they had a different mother who died in a car crash years before I was born. My oldest sister once told me she believed my mother left because my father always made it clear she was the second wife, that she wasn't as great as his first wife, that he only married her 'cause he knocked her up with my sister. She had enough and ran off with another guy who treated her better. But that's still not an excuse for ditching your kids. So, it's just been my dad and the occasional new girlfriend who would break up with him when they saw how much of a, am I allowed to swear here, a hole he was. Now, to skip forward to about 2 years ago, I met this woman who I quickly fell in love with, and we began to date and got close with and are in discussion of looking for a new place to live together. Her name is Kelly. Now, about 5 months ago, Kelly texted me saying we needed to talk. This is shortly after she met my family, when my 2 older sisters came to visit and we had a family barbecue. When she met up with me, she told me this wouldn't be easy to hear, but it's the truth. But my brother tried to hook up with her. She's been talking with him for a few weeks after they connected at the family get-together. Though she saw this as just being friendly, as she also has been talking to my sister who lives across town. They've been talking here and then, and he began to flirt, which Kelly didn't really notice at first, then thought he was just being playful, then kind of began to felt awkward. He eventually told her that he was a better fit for her than me, that he believes I'm a closeted gay. She was stunned and kind of made an excuse to leave. She told me everything. I was upset, of course, but she was also shocked at me at how little surprised I was and how I, in her words, underreacted. She is a therapist, you see, though she is more of a beginner and doesn't have much clients, as she only just a year ago got her degree or whatever. So, she has a better understanding of mental health. When I told her my relationship with my brother and dad in a greater detail than what I'm saying here, she told me I am conditioned to accept this behavior and I need to stand up for myself. Not in the sort of be a man for Christ's sake in sense, just a more respect myself kind of way. Thinking back on my life, I really thought about the crap I gone through and decided to get revenge. I convinced her to play along and to flirt back. She was very much against it, saying my plan is not a healthy one, but I decided I need this and this is how I would do it. She agreed and began flirting back. Despite her feeling awkward about it, we decided we would do this to expose him. They kept this up for weeks as he got less conscious and more sexual in his comments. When asked about his wife, he told her they have an open relationship and he's been with other girls. They agreed to meet up at a motel for a night of sex. I showed the messages to his wife, who I always got along with, as she was someone who always stood up to him when he was being a jerk to me. As it turns out, he's been deleting the messages on his phone so she wouldn't see them. But deleting them doesn't mean they see deleted on Kelly's device. She told me he was leaving on a 3-day work trip, which was kind of true except it was a 2-day trip. This is the juicy part one will circle back to. So after she got over the shock of the revelation, crying, breathing heavily to calm herself down, etc., we agreed to catch him in the act. Kelly met with him for drinks and dinner before going back to the motel where we set up 3 secret recording devices. They came back to the room and he began to touch her, to which she asked if she is sure his wife is okay with this, and he said yes, they have an open relationship. She has another boyfriend and all. They began to talk dirty with him taking the lead. Kelly went to the bathroom to freshen up and he began to strip and got into bed. She came out and went to the front door where me and his wife were standing and walked in. He immediately jumped out of bed in a panic, asking why she was there and being lost for words. Something I never thought I would see in my life. We got into a huge argument with him, accusing me of setting him up, which I did to be fair. He and my sister-in-law got into a huge screaming match with him, trying to deflect and play this off, which is hard to do while he is currently getting dressed. We left. Now, here's what happened after his wife filed for a divorce. And after a long time of going through the system of getting lawyers and going to court for things like this, she used Kelly text messages and the recordings as evidence. She even found more proof of affairs with other women when she was moving out and tried to take his laptop, which she mistook it for her own, and he got really protective of it, which seemed suspicious, and he ended up smashing it. She however took the hard drive to a technician and recovered tons of recently deleted images of another woman who sent him nudes. She ended up getting half his stuff in the house. Thank God they didn't have kids. And here's the juicy part one mentioned. Yes, he was supposed to leave on a work trip, but the thing is he worked for her father for a smallish business he owns. That's how they met, as she would work there part-time while in college when he first joined. Well, after what was revealed, he was, of course, fired. He with no home, little money, and no job, he ended up moving back into my father's home. He would confront me at my door one day, and I just reminded him of all the crap he did to me all my life, how he's the cheater, not me. And he did this to himself. That was about 6 months ago and I haven't spoken to him since. My older sisters said they were proud of me for finally getting him back, and they've been giving me some updates as I don't stay in touch with him and my dad. He still lives at home and works now in another job which doesn't pay as much as his last job, but he had no other choice as no one was really hiring. Apparently, he gained some weight and occasionally still badmouths me and his now ex-wife.